Good evening everyone and welcome to CRC. This is GT3 Tier 1 for Season 4 and we are at Donington Park around the Grand Prix circuit. Two different layouts of course to the track, the Grand Prix layout and the national layout as well. And if you're wondering why I'm talking a little bit early, it's because I want to run through what happened last week and indeed the standings as well. So, Ash Richardson took the win last time out from 007 Professional in second, and the Crusher Bro was third. Of course, we were in Algarve last week. We literally hop on about a 3-hour flight from Portugal to the UK and to Donington here tonight. John Dog was fourth, Emmanuel Beats was fifth, Zandamar sixth, Steve seventh, Super Guy, Nate McKinder for you in ninth, and Racing at Home filling out in the top 10. What did that do to the standings? Well, we've got a tie for the lead. It's as simple as that. Crusher Bro taking the fight to Ash Richardson. They're both on 37 points out in front, tied for the lead. 007 Professional in third on 26 points, with John Dog in fourth on 25. Zandamar in fifth on 23, Racing at Home in sixth on 19, with Emmanuel Beast in seventh on 14 points. Steve in eighth on 8, Andy in 9th on 6, and Super Guy NL in 10th on 4 points respectively. And we come on to the constructors. Bulldog Racing Team, consisting of Ash Richardson and 007 Professional, lead the way on 63 points as qualifying is about to begin. I'll run through the constructors though in the meantime. Aston Matra Racing in second. That's the team of Crusher Bro, and that's the team of Crusher Bro and Andy in the Aston Martins. They're second on 43 points, with Wilson Racing and Williams Engineering, both in the Mercedes and the Audis. So Wilson Racing, of course, represented by Racing at Home and Emmanuel Beast. They're tied for third with Williams Engineering, who are the team of Steve and John Dog here. HRT Esports in fifth. That is another Mercedes team consisting of Zandamar and Super Guy NL. And in sixth position is Missing in Action. What a name for a team in the Lamborghinis. Missing in Action. And that is, I think, the reserve team, if I'm pretty sure, looking at it. British American Alliance and Victor Racing Team and Campbell Motorsport still yet to set any points out on track. And we are about to get going here. 14 drivers out on track tonight for Division 1 for Tier 1 of the GT3 action here at Donington. And of course, what a circuit Donington actually is. I've been used to commentating around this track many times indeed, for Gabba Racing especially, which is where I came from, previously commentating on Project Cars 2 leagues. I cannot wait for the action. The first car out on track that we have is Crusher Bro. 15 minutes of qualifying and a 45-minute race, of course, here for Tier 1 tonight. If you're wondering where Alan Cavey is, he's still commentating on Tier 2. He will have to go, though, after Tier 2, so he won't be joining me in the commentary box tonight. So he's stuck with me for the full evening, which I think is very exciting indeed. Crusher Bro taking out the polystyrene board. What did the polystyrene board do to you? I do not know. It looks like he lost control there through McLean's corner. Sorry, not through McLean's, that was through the old hairpin at Starkey's Bridge. But Crusher Bro now running up the hill slightly towards Coppice. And of course, there are two different layouts. We're right on board actually now with Crusher Bro to talk you through the two different layouts of the track here at Donington. If you were to go to the right-hand side, you would go through the Fogarty S's and then cut onto the national circuit. We're going left though, we're going on the old school Grand Prix circuit here at Donington tonight. And it is around a 1:45 lap time, I think it is, around here. I've been trialling out a little bit before we came live. Of course, I've had to do another commentary before this as well, so not really much time to come in and practice myself. So I know how these guys are going to be feeling out on track. And also to speak of, we have got a new driver joining in tonight, VSR Rotary from Visceral Racing Team. We welcome him to the championship. And as you can see there, he is in the Missing in Action team. He is in the Lamborghini and struggling there through the chicane at the Fogarty S's. We'll go back on board though with Crusher Bro, who is coming down through turn 1 at Redgate and then through turn 2 at Hollywood. And I think that's a Mercedes off. That looked like to me it was Andy, but Andy is in the pit lane, so one of the Mercedes is off there through turn 2. Now coming through turn 3 through the crane of curves and into the old hairpin now for Crusher Bro. The back end does tend to step out, especially if you're running a low downforce in this car. or in any of the cars here tonight. Crusher Pro now coming up towards Starkey's Bridge. Under Starkey's Bridge he goes, now through the Schwantz curve and through McLean's. This is this right-handed corner. Now, just about halfway through the lap here towards Coppice, rising up the hill. The only rise in the hill, really, that we see uphill on the track. You'll notice it as we go along. Crusher Pro then through onto Starkey Straight and then towards the Fogarty S's. Of course, we go left-hand side, not the right-hand side. If you are familiar with the GP track, you'll know that we'll go this way. Bollards have already been taken out by a couple of drivers out on track, but Crusher Pro in the Aston Martin, the first one out on track. And of course, we'll try and get on board with everyone as we go through the qualifying session. Already 3 minutes and he fights the brakes right down into the Melbourne hairpin there. Now up towards turns 13 and 14 at Goddard's and then onto the Wheatcroft Straight. And that will be the end of the lap here for Crusher Pro. 41.8 for VSR Rotary. That's purely a bank lap around here. My consistent of a 145 might have just been not close enough at all. As Crusher Pro comes across the line and it's a 128.1 for Crusher Pro. So that is the sort of time that we are going to be seeing those drivers set here out on track tonight. 11.5 minutes still to go on qualifying. If you're just tuning in, welcome along to CRC Tier 1 action in the GT3s for Season 4. I am James Head, your commentator, and if you haven't seen me around before, where have you been? Steve has gone second though in the meantime in the Audi. Car number 14 out on track, and Steve out on track, and he's only 1400ths off with VSR Rotary going third in the Lamborghini. There's a Porsche just getting out of the way there on the left hand side of the track, and I'm not sure who that might be. Let's try and find out who that was. It was Andy. He switched to the Porsche, it seems, tonight. So the Porsche of Andy is out on track, and I'll just confirm that. Yeah, Andy's supposed to be in Aston Martin the last time we looked, so obviously there's been a change. Yeah, he's running solo in the Porsche. That's why Campbell Motorsport is in the Constructors. That's me, James. John Dog going off track there slightly. Looks like he's got damage to the left side of his car. Ash Richardson, though, goes to the top of the timing screens in the Ferrari 458, and he goes top by, well, 9/10 of a second. Ash looking quite confident, of course, taking the win, as I remember last time out in the Algarve. We, of course, have jumped over. 007 Professional now goes to the top in the other Ferrari. So the two Ferraris go first and second, currently out on track. So maybe the lower downforcing cars, like the Aston Martin, like the Ferrari, I think will tend to do better around here. I think that was Racing Home just going into fourth. It was Racing Home in the Mercedes going up to fourth, much improved there, 27.7 his lap time. And Steve just coming across the line to improve by about 0.3 of a second now. We are 5 minutes through qualifying. We'll go on board then with McKinder for you, who is just coming through the Fogarty S's now and then run down towards the Melbourne hairpin. You can see he's about 11 seconds up on his lap time. We should see McKinney really excel in this car. He's coming onto the mic there, probably to say hello to me if he's listening in. McKinney for you, though, now on the run down towards the final two corners here and onto the Wheatcroft Straight. We are about to go through the double left at Goddard's and on to Wheatcroft Straight, kicking out that back end slightly, really losing the back end through there, McKinney for you. And he comes across the line now and he goes up to 11th, so he goes ahead of TTG Sean, who is, of course, in the Ferrari as well, and he's teaming up, of course, this season. Well, he's a reserve driver this season, and he's joining in for the first race this season, which is fantastic. 9.5 improvement there from Sean, and it's a 32.5 from him. Andy in the Porsche, let's see how he gets on as he comes now towards Starkey's Bridge and McLean's. We're not sure if he's on a lap at the minute. You can see the race feed on the right hand side. Keep an eye on that. Ash Richardson has improved, by the way, to a 26.7. That is currently out on, he's currently out on top. Andy, I think, is just on a lap there. Nissim just coming across the line. There was a car wide in the background there, not sure who that was. We're right on board though with John Dog, who's about to come across the line, the Australian. Let's see how he goes, and he doesn't improve on his lap. I think he might be just preparing for a lap actually, so we'll get handily right on board with him at this moment in time. Crusher Bro, I think, has just improved up to 27.3. Crusher Bro, the Norwegian, the defending champion from TT Project Cars, of course, in the past, in third position, currently out on track in qualifying as we slowly approach the halfway stage with 8 minutes to go in this qualifying session. Let's have a look at how our new driver is getting on. VSR Rotary, very interesting and intrigued to see how he's going to be getting on out on track. He's in the Lamborghini, of course. He's now coming through towards the old hairpin and then into Starkey's Bridge and Schwantz Curve. 3/10 down through the first sector. Of course, the drivers do tend to find through the splits, and I'll have a look at actually how the splits are forming out on track. They should be on your screen, but they're not. It's the timings I want to go for. There is the current order. As you see, Ash on top, 007 Professional second, Crusher Bro in third. You can see what the last laps were like. Crusher Bro setting a 36.6 last lap around. I don't think it's representative of his lap time, but just to give you an indicator of the timings there out on track. And we are just through the halfway stage, as I say. VSR Rotary out on track. Of course, no rain due here tonight in Donington. If you have taken an eye towards the calendar this season in CRC Division 1, or in Tier 1 I should say, we are going to be touring pretty much all across the world, in fact, because I know Mount Panorama, as VSR Rotary actually, they send a bit of the polystyrene board and the cone flying there. VSR Rotary, though, through the final corner, he was 2/10 down through that middle sector, across the line now. He improves, but only by a slight margin, 0.004 of a second. I'm sure he will get to improve during the course of the session here. Now, I do apologise if you do hear me coughing during the night. I have just came off another commentary and I haven't got a drink alongside me. So, yeah, that's going to be a bit of a downer, I think. But we'll see. We'll cope. Racing at home then coming round in the final corner. Currently in fourth, the 1:27.7, 9/10 of a second. And he's 6/10 down on his personal best lap. There's another Mercedes just joining in front of him. Realised him at the last second. I think that was a manual beast. It was a manual beast. In car number 101 coming out on track. Zandamar, in fact, has just improved ahead of him with a 1:28.321, 3 thousandths ahead of a manual beast at this stage. Let me run you through then the full grid order at this stage. That's Richardson, who's just coming out the pits, out in front from 007 Professional, who's just coming out the pits as well. Crusher Bro in third, Racing Home in fourth, Steve in fifth, the VSR Rotary, just getting caught in the cup there through the S section. Zandamar in 7th, Emmanuel Beast in 8th, John Dog in 9th, Nissim in 10th, McKinder for you in 11th. We'll ride on board with him because he's improving by about 2.5 tenths. Andy just a little way off as well. Just seen an improvement there. I think it might have been Steve. It wasn't Steve, it was John Dog improving. Steve comes across the line, he also improves to 9 tenths within Ash Richardson there. Good lap. McKinder for you now into Goddard's. To the left, the double left here. Do count as 2 corners actually on the track map. McKinder for you now across the line. Where's he going to go? Does he improve? He does improve. He doesn't improve on his position, but he improves by just over 7/10 of a second. I think he'll be happy with that. There's a yellow flag out on track, and that looks like it is towards the old hairpin, which we'll ride on board then with VSR Rotary and see what has actually happened out on track. Whatever has happened. Oh, there's a stricken car on the left-hand side of the field. And that thing, that is Ash Richardson. It is Ash. That is stopped out on track. Not sure what has happened there with Ash, whether something is disconnected from his setup maybe, whether there's been contact. I don't really have a clue. I can only assume that there's been yellow flags there as well. And there was another yellow flag out on track. H-Racing Green though, just coming across the line to finish off his lap there. It was a 1:31.2. I'm sorry I was on a little bit late with that one. Nissim then in the meantime, just coming through the right-hander. There is a Ferrari just off track. That looks like it's 007 Professional. It is. The top 2 actually out on track. Maybe waiting for the time to go down. I wonder. We'll have to have a look and see. Who were we on board with? I've totally forgot who we were on board with. Nissim is the driver we were on board with, of course. In the Mercedes, car number 24 out on track. Looking good through there. Catching the marbles there on the inside. And he's 46 seconds down. So it's actually, he's not on a lap here. So we'll ride on board then with Emmanuel Beast, who was coming through the same section out on track. Of course, if you do want to get in touch within the comment section, I do want to see the comment section flooding about with so many comments in the session. CRC Tier 2 has just ended, I do believe, as well. We want Nissim, says Femi. I will try and go on board with Nissim during the qualifying session. You do appreciate, though, there is 13 other drivers that we do have to commentate on as well. Ash, though, currently out on top. 007 Professional in second. Crusher Bro third. Stephen fourth. Racing Home in fifth. John Dog in sixth. Emmanuel Beast about to come across the line now. And he's 500ths down. Not improving on this lap time now. And he's going to come straight back out of the pits in 9th position. McKinder for you. Obviously improved a couple of laps, 2 laps ago. 1:28.539 his lap time. Andy has improved as well to 29.4. H-Racing Green in that Bentley, I've got to be honest, the Bentley is not going to be the greatest car around here. I think that back end, it's literally going to be like a tank rolling around the track here tonight. That's all I can really describe the Bentley as being out on track tonight. Obviously Sean is also out on a lap as well, just losing control of the car. He's under the SMP Racing logo there. Coloured car, almost like a Russian sponsored car there for Sean tonight. Running a nice livery, I've got to say. H Racing Green though, through good odds at the final corner, and he's about to come across the line now. Is he going to improve H Racing Green? Across the line, no he doesn't. Oh, he was down this time. So, currently, it is Ash Richardson out on top. We have seen improvements further up the field, which I have totally missed. 27.1 for Crusher Bro, 27.2 for VSR Rotary, who was coming out the pit. A very tight pit exit there. And how's he picked up a grid place penalty for pit lane violation? How's he managed to do that? Has he hit the inside of the pit lane of his pit box, I wonder there? That is... I don't get that. You guys are on board with that as well. I think he might have contacted the inside of his pit box, and that's why the grid place penalty was given. Have a discussion about that one in the comment section. I can't make head and tail of that one, if I've got to be honest. Alan Cabby just coming into the comment section and saying Blizzard won Tier 2. Mays ran out of fuel, and he finished in P6 though, which is good. Mays finishing in P6 and running out of fuel. Not great to run out of fuel, if I've got to be honest, but of course finishing the race is more important. Good to see everyone tuning in from Tier 2 as well. Welcome to my area for tonight in Tier 1. Ash Richardson currently out on top as you join us. 007 Professional in second with about a minute of qualifying left to go. I may remind you, coming into tonight, Crusher Bro and Ash tied on points. They are tied on points on 37 respectively. There is a Ferrari just off track in the background of shot, I think that was, or was an Aston Martin. Certainly 007 Professional though. Let's see how he's getting on out on track. He's 5 thousandths down. He needs to find about 0.2 of a second to really go close to Ash, I think, coming out of the Melbourne hairpin. He takes a wide outline, and of course he will bring the traction through the corner. That is very nice indeed through there. 25 seconds to go. VSR Rotary's had his lap time invalidated, as has Andy. Nissim, by the way, has improved up to 7th with a 28 flat, so good lap there from him. Ash across the line, 007 Professional across the line doesn't improve ahead of Ash. I think that is his qualifying pretty much done. Ash has came into the pit. VSR Rotary, of course, has got that grid place penalty. We're on board with John Dog, who just came across the line. He will go on for another lap. Zandamar is coming out of the Melbourne hairpin now. We see plenty of drivers coming into the pits. Crusher Bro not going to be improving. Neither are some of the drivers out on track. Zandamar then coming out of the final corner in the Mercedes. Let's see how he's going to get on. Does he improve his position? No, he doesn't. He doesn't improve his time at all. McKinley for you then around the final corner. And I think we are going to be seeing the end of qualifying after a couple of other drivers. McKinley for you across the line doesn't improve. But good lap anyways with a 28.5. He gets back into the pits. We'll run on board them with VSR Rotary, who is the sole driver coming towards the end of the middle sector. Through the Fogarty S as we go, named after Carl Fogarty, of course, the legendary British motorbike racer. VSR Rotary then down towards the Melbourne hairpin. Having a tap of oversteer there, really controlling the car through the corner though, that's what we like to see. VSR Rotary now coming up towards the final 2 corners at Goddard's and then onto the Wheatcroft straight to the line. VSR Rotary very wide off, hanging off the camber of the corner, really deep into that double left-hander. Now VSR Rotary across the line, does he improve? No, he doesn't. VSR Rotary doesn't improve on his lap time, and that is qualifying over. And we'll run you down the full running of the grid. Ash Richardson takes it by 900th of a second from 007 Professional in second. Crusher Bro in third. Will be racing at home in fourth with VSR Rotary's grid place penalty for I don't know what. Steve in sixth with Nissim in seventh. John Dog in eighth. And then we'll run you through the rest on the left hand side. Zandamar in ninth. Emmanuel Beast in 10th. McKinley for you in 11th. H Racing Green 12th. Andy in 13th. And Sean starting right at the back in 14th position. I can't wait for this one. Do predict your top 3 in the comments section. I'd love to hear what you guys think of how the action is going to unfold out on track. I will make I will make a prediction myself now and say that I think Ash Richardson is going to take this. The Ferraris seem to have had a very strong qualifying. They're starting front 2 on the grid. Sean obviously starting further down the field. Ash and 007 Professional though, they finished first and second last time out in Algarve. I think it could be the same pretty much tonight. And I'm going to say Ash to take the win. I'm going to say VSR Rotary for second. I think he's got something about him in the race not to improve upon. And I'll go for 007 Professional for third. Crusher Bro will be right there as well. Racing at Home should be right there. I think the Audis might be right there as well towards the end of the race. There's going to be a lot of action happening out on track, and you get to enjoy 45 minutes with me in the commentary box here tonight and on the stream as well, as John Dog and Steve talk to each other within the lobby. Hopefully they are keeping well and maybe just discussing how they're going to get off the line, I wonder. Be very interesting to see how the Audis cope. They're starting 6th and 8th respectively out on track. Nissim joining in. Beautiful camera angle though to start off. We're going to go ready for the light sequence. And the race in Donington about to begin in CRC Tier 1. Lights out, away we go. Good start by Crusher Bro. Really got a good start there in the Aston. Ash gets away well, but Ash is going to lead down towards turn 1. Even with that good start from Crusher Bro, he's going to be up the inside of 007 Professional down into second. Everyone on warnings at the minute. That is just purely because we've just started the race. Everyone is clean through turn 1. Looked like Sean and H Racing Green might have been coming into a little bit of contact further down the field. McKinder for you following through as we come through the curves for the first time, the crane of curves, and Ash Richardson leads the way by 4/10 of a second nearly from Crusher in second. VSR Rotary around the outside of Tarky's Bridge on 007 Professional, who hasn't got away well. Racing at Home in 5th, Nissim in 6th, the 2 Mercedes hunting right down the back as we come through McLean's for the first time. Zandamar in 7th, so Mercedes 5th, 6th and 7th at this stage, with Steve in 8th. A little bit of a disappointing start from the 2 Audis, 8th and 9th up this stage. Emmanuel Beast in 10th, Andy in 11th. Sean in 12th, Hasty Racing Green in 13th, and McKinder for you in 14th, 6.5 seconds separate the top field. We see the battle for second kicking up. Crusher Pro and VSR Rotary into the Fogger TSs for the first time. Taking out the corner, the ball out there on the inside of the corner there, but Crusher Pro takes now down towards the Melbourne hairpin for the first time. VSR Rotary having a bit of a look up the inside here, car number 92. But the Aston Martin just about coming out on top, I think, of this one. Crusher Pro is holding on the position for second, but this is all letting Ash Richardson get away out in front by 1.6 seconds out on track. VSR Rotary with the lights on, just coming across the line in third. 007 Professional though, on his inside. Is he going to try and seal the move down the inside here? The Ferrari down the inside of the Lamborghini, and it could be job done. A little bit of contact through turn 1 at Redgate. But Rotary on the inside, 007 on the outside, and they swap positions. Rotary is through the crane of curves, and he's up into 3rd position. 007 Professional back down to 4th. Racing Home in 5th, Nissim in 6th, in a little bit of contact further down. McKinney for you has lost control of the car, and that is Nissim going off wide there through into Starkey's Bridge. Nissim under pressure now from Steve in behind, gives a little bit of a love tap there. Oh, and he loses the back end. Steve losing the Nissim losing the back end. Steve just contacting the back end of him slightly. Nissim will get back underway. Kinder for you, I think, might come past him here, up the run down, up into the run into Copper's corner, and McKinder for you trying to go around the outside there. But back on board with the action out on track. Ash leads the way by 1.2 seconds out on track. You can see the fuel loads. The fuel load should be fine here tonight for a majority of the drivers. Ash leads the way by 1.4 seconds from Crusher Pro in 2nd. Rotary in 3rd with 007 Professional in 4th. Racing Home in 5th. Well, that's picked up a penalty. We'll just right on board with that to see the timings. It's the 2nd penalty, so it's obviously been track extending out on track. I cut in the corner slightly. We're on board with Zandamar in 6th. Steve in 7th. John in 8th. Manual Beast has dropped down. There's been a bit of a glitch with the timings. I do apologise about that. I will now come back on. There we go. And it's 1.2 seconds separating Ash from Crusher Pro and VSR Rotary in behind. As we see Manual Beast trying to look at the inside of Sean, who was getting ground early on. The Ferrari driver up to 10th. H Racing Green in the big Bolt, I'm going to say, in the Bentley in 12th. He will struggle around this track, as I alluded to in qualifying, but Manual Beast still on the back of Sean just ahead of him, and H Racing Green now beginning to get into this, and now 3/10 off according to our timing screens anyways, and he's 4/10 up on his personal best. You can see the Bentley beginning to come into this. We're right on board if we can with H Racing Green. We'll work the cameras to best effect as well. It's nice to provide you with the best camera shots out on track. thought we had a battle with Brisson and Holm and Zandamar there. The 2 seconds separated now out on track. But this is really the battle out on track. And there's a little bit of a train actually just in front of us. Sean just leading the manual beast who locks up into the corner. There was no lock-up actually, you think. He just cut the corner slightly. H-Racing Green goes past him then. He's on the outside of Sean. Worst camera you can possibly have is H-Racing Green. Tries to go around the outside of Sean. Sean on the inside. Emmanuel Beast trying to get in this as well. A little bit of lag slightly there. H-Racing Green pulls onto the position. Is he going to try it on Sean? It's about a 1/10 of a second behind. He's down the inside now. Not quite going to get the move done. About 5 minutes through here in Donington so far in Tier 1. I'm struggling with my voice, but Ash leads the way by 1.3 seconds from Crusher Pro in second. VSR Rotary in third. We see H-Racing Green trying to go around the outside of Redgate at turn 1. Good move, I think, this from H-Racing Green, and he's ahead. The Bentley ahead. It could be 3 wide down through the granite curves, but no, they swap into single file. And H-Racing Green is currently out in 10th position with Sean in 11th and Emmanuel Beast in 12th. I'm just going to take my nasal inhaler for 30 seconds. I will be back on commentary in that time. Emmanuel Beast actually just getting contacted, losing the car slightly there into the back of Sean. A slight love tap there between them both, Sean and Emmanuel Beast. And Emmanuel Beast losing the position to Nissan there as a result. But right on both though with the battle for second, because that is heating up as VSR Rotary tries to go around the outside now on Crusher Bro. Not quite going to be there. And Ash beginning to pull away. 1.9 seconds the gap. VSR Rotary looking to the inside here. The Lambo against the Aston. He's seen him coming as Crusher Bro. VSR Rotary up the inside of Goddard. Good move. VSR Rotary. The Brit is through on the Norwegian. What a move by the Visceral Racing driver. And he's up into second position in the Lamborghini. And well, on his debut, he's impressing so far, I've got to say. Crusher Pro in third, 007 Professional in fourth. Rissenholm is in fifth. Zandamar is in sixth. Stephen John, the 2 Audis, are 7th and 8th at this stage. The race beginning to split apart slightly. There's not really many close battles going on out on track, as we see Nissim launching it down the inside of Sean very late on the brakes there. No contact at all, and Nissim's got that move done from quite a far way back. Nissim has gone through, and he's up past Sean for 10th position. Good move that by Nissim. Emmanuel Beast trying to hunt this down as well in 12th. Andy in 13th, McKinley still going around in 14th. Field beginning to lengthen out as Ash leads the way. VSR Rotary picked up a penalty now. We're going to be seeing a lot of warnings, I think, out on track. There are the timings for you guys out on track and the penalties that have happened. 1 lap 5 currently. If you're just tuning in, well, where have you been for the first 7 minutes of the race? Ash currently leads the way. VSR Rotary in second with a second penalty. Racing at home with a 2-second penalty. H-Racing Green with a second, and Andy with a second currently out on track as well. Just update you on the timings. I'll try and do that throughout the course of tonight. Ash beginning to pull away though, 2.2 seconds now towards Goddard once again to start lap 6 out on track. We'll see further down the field though, see what is happening, and it looks like Sean is under pressure here from Emmanuel Beast. Sean must have had a poor run out of the Fogarty S's. Emmanuel Beast sends it up the inside, job done. The Mercedes through on the Ferrari. Emmanuel Beast clean through. He's up to 11th, good move. Ash then, 1.9 seconds out in front from VSR Rotary in second. Now under pressure from Crusher Bro. It's about 0.3 of a second as they come through the crane curves once again on lap 6. With 007 Professional in fourth, just running out onto the grass there, I think, Crusher Bro. 007 Professional also just doing the same line as him. We're right on board to see what lines these guys are taking. Crusher Bro with a slight snap of oversteer coming through McLean's. Now on the run towards Coppice, as Ash leads the way by 1.8 seconds. VSR Rotary in second. Gotta say, if you're a fan of VSR Rotary, I would be impressed so far. He's debuted very well so far in the race and is going right up there with the front leaders, with Crusher Pro in third, 007 Professional in fourth. May remind you from Algarve, it was Ash who took the win, 007 Professional finished in second. I think they've got a little bit of work to do if they want to try and repeat the 1-2 from last time out, as Crusher Bro just goes wide of the apex, snaps back into the inside, I should say. Snipping is something else. Racing at home though, back in 5th. Through the Melbourne hairpin they go once again. John and H-Racing Green beginning to come through the field. He's up to 9th. For the Bentley beginning to come through You can call it a tank, you can call it a bus, you can call it whatever you want, but he is making ground here, Racing Green. He's getting the best out of that car so far out on track as we approach the 10-minute marker here in CRC Tier 1 tonight. There's Ash who leads the way from VSR Rotary in second. Crusher Pro third, 007 Professional in fourth. Racing Green improving by 8/10 on his personal best and was one of the quickest actually on that lap with a 29.7. Of course, if you are new to Project Cars, that is Steve, I think, off track. It is Steve off track. And Racing Green goes through around the outside through the corner curve. So looks like Steve had a snap of oversteer coming out of turn 1. And Steve now down into 9th position as a result. Just losing the back end purely, I think, there. Of course, the drivers have just got to be careful. And you can see on the right hand side actually, he is running ABS and running traction as well. Of course, this is not really that affected in Tier 1, I should say. Sean has lost the position, by the way, to Andy further down the field. I would imagine that was due to a mistake more than anything else. But we'll try and run on board with some of the action happening out on track as we see the timings glitching slightly between John and Racing Green. Project Cars team just have a tendency of doing this to me. Racing Green right on the back of John though. This is for 7th and 8th, and this is coming towards the Melbourne hairpin once again towards the end of lap 7. The leader has actually just gone on to lap 8. Ash Richardson out in front. 28.4 last time around. VSR Rotary slightly quicker by about 500th of a second on that lap, and Crusher Pro coming in with a 28.6. Definitely appears to me 10 minutes into the race that the drivers are beginning to get a little bit quicker out on track. Or at least the front guys are starting to get a little bit quicker. Racing Green on the Bentley, right on the back of the Audi. Come now down into the braking zone at turn 1. You can afford to take a wide out line and almost go on the pit exit line coming through there, and tend to get the better run swinging onto the inside through Redgate at turn 1. We're now going through the trainer curves, and I've got to be honest, it's a lovely view for Racing Green coming down through the trainer curves, now through the old hairpin. Racing Green still on the back of John, of course. This is pretty much, if you want the driver's eye view, this is what the driver will be seeing currently out on track. You can see all the dashboard icons there on the front. He's running in neutral apparently. I don't think that is the best gear to be running in. You can see he's running actually in 2nd gear as he comes through Coppice once again. But Racing Green right on the back. And you can see from the bonnet cam, Racing Green closing up. Crusher Pro and 007 Professional are also battling. We're right on board with that now in fact. And you can see 007 Professional right on the back of him. Bumper cam is not the best. Oh, nearly locking up into the back of him there, 007. We've now cut back on board with trackside cam. VSR Rotary again has picked up that warning, that red warning that you see on the left hand side of your screen. Emmanuel Beast, by the way, has dropped a few positions. So Emmanuel Beast now down to the back of the field, has made a mistake I think somewhere out on track and struggled to get the car going. That's what I would imagine there from the British driver in the Mercedes. But Ash, currently leading the way, has got all the answers so far to VSR Rotary's questions. But in the meantime, Crusher Pro and 007 Professional, we saw a bit of a battle between these two last time out in Algarve, and I've got to be honest, we're going to see more of the same again I think throughout the season as we come towards 1/3 distance here in CRC Tier 1 tonight. Good evening if you are just tuning in to the action. I'm James Hay, going to be taking you through the action for the next 32 minutes out on track as Ash Richardson currently leads the way from VSR Rotary in 2nd. Crusher Pro in 3rd. Apologies, I just have to use my nasal inhaler there. 007 Professional in 4th, Racing Home in 5th, and Zandamar in 6th. John Dog has gone past that. John Dog is fighting with Racing Green. They're not separated by 400th of a second, as you can clearly see on your screen. The interval timings are having a bit of a mare tonight. Racing Green, though, probably about 4/10 of a second off as they come through into the Fogger TSs once again. A bit of lag picking up on the end there. John Dog, in the meantime, the Audi defending the position. Steve, you can see running the lights in the background. Not really cost effective to run the lights. Certainly he won't be doing his bit for the environment there. Racing Green, though, has swung up the inside of John Dog and he takes the position. So the Bentley is through on the Audi. The Audi actually coming back up the inside, trying to get that car turned in. Oh, and a little bit of a desync contact there, I think, between them both. Racing Green, John Dog, a little bit of a desync, I think, there. John Dog has got the car going and is actually going backwards out on track. I'm not sure if he's going to try and turn it around. He does. He returns it in just in time because Sean is just coming through Goddard's there. John Dog, not really the best sort of way to go into the pit lane, if I've got to be honest. He should have just continued for the full lap and not maybe receive a little bit of a penalty. Speaking of penalties, Andy and Nissim have picked up a penalty as well. I'll go on board with that in just a second because this battle is heating up between Crusher Pro and 007 Professional, and the drop off by, and 007 Professional just drops off the slipstream slightly. That Aston quicker than the Ferrari in the straight, but through the corners that Ferrari is hell of a quick through there. 007 Professional right on the back now. Crusher Pro down into the Melbourne hairpin, and he's up the inside. Can Crusher Pro get the turn in on the outside of the corner? He's got the speed. He's going to be on the outside line though into Goddard's. 007 Professional is just shutting the door on him, and he's through back up the inside, and brilliant defensive driving there by 007 Professional. Crusher Pro did not have a clue where to go with that. He gets the much better exit, but Aston now using the straight line speed out on track, as Crusher Pro now comes into turn 1 at Redgate, not getting the move done on 007. He'll be a bit disappointed that he didn't get the move done, but trust me when I say that, that's the best piece of defensive driving I have seen this season from a driver out on track here in Tier 1, as Crusher Pro tries to look around the outside of the old hairpin. Not quite going to move there though. Ash leads the way. VSR Rotary is 1.8 seconds behind in second. That, by the way, I do believe is John Dog running amongst the field. Yeah, he's just been left by the leaders. John Dog obviously pitting in. Bit of a strange pit stop. Of course, the stewards will, of course, have a look at the action out on track. As that is racing at home, I think, just making a mistake coming through McLean's. Crusher Pro there on the back of Crusher Pro, and now coming down the straight once again towards the Fogarty S's. Crusher Pro then in fourth, with 007 Professional in third at this stage. The Ferrari taking a much better exit through the corner. The Aston just leaning out slightly through the camber of the corner, off the curb. And Crusher Pro not really getting the best run out there. In the meantime, what has happened out in front? Because Ash Richardson is now under sustained pressure from the Visceral Racing driver, VSR Rotary, right on the back of him. Coming through Goddard's once again, on towards lap 12, and there's Ash Richardson who leads the way from VSR Rotary in second. The debutant chasing down last week's winner in Algarve. This is going to be quite enticing between these two, I feel. Ferrari against Lamborghini. Again, the low downforcing cars doing well around this track. Ferrari, Lamborghini, Aston Martin, and then of course the Ferrari as well of 007 Professional. So two Ferraris within the top three, and then an Aston, and you can see the Lamborghini we're on board with at the minute. VSR Rotary currently in second, and he's a tenth and a half off as we come towards McLean's. Is he going to try and look for the move, I wonder, down the inside? No, Ash not having any of that at all, and he'll defend with all of his might here out on track. We are about 6 minutes shy of the halfway stage at this moment in time. Plenty of drivers have picked up penalties. We'll right on board with that in just a second and give you an update, in fact, now on that. And you can see that VSR Rotary has picked up a second. Racing at Home has picked up 2. Zandamar has picked up a 1 second penalty. H Racing Green has picked up 2. Nissim has picked up 1. Andy has picked up 1. And Emmanuel Beast has picked up 12 seconds worth of penalties. So clearly has had a moment out on track and has extended severely out on track as we go perfectly on board with the battle that is developing out on track. That's the wrong thing I want. That's the right thing. Steve has got back through on H Racing Green. So Steve has got back through Coppice, that was. Getting the move done through into 7th position. Timing's glitching slightly. That's a perfect example of the timing's glitching out on track. John Dog is into the pits. In the meantime, we'll go back on board with the battle for the lead between VSR Rotary and Ash Richardson. 5.5 tenths separating as they come down the hill through the crane of curves once again. And Ash 4/10 of a second clear from VSR Rotary in second position. 007 Professional in third, with Crusher Pro in fourth. Of course, if you do show any of the support for any of the drivers out on track, then do come into the comment section and support the drivers. They will need every help in the comments that you can give. Battling behind, 007 Professional and Crusher Pro beginning to get going, but I want to focus as we just turn our attentions, we'll turn our attentions back to further down the field, because H Racing Green and Nissim beginning to get quite spicy. VSR Rotary trying to look around the outside into Fogarty's S's, not quite going to get the move done there. and he's about 5/10 off coming through the Melbourne hairpin. Ash Richardson clearly prioritising the run through there and just gaining the time. And he was 3/10 quicker last time around as well. But this is the battle we want to ride on board with. Hitchison Green just lagging a little bit. Nissim now through. He's about a second and a half behind. Well, on the timings is a second and a half behind. I think that is probably around the right area of timing, to be honest, as he comes through Poverty S's once again. Hitchison Green, if he is listening to the stream or has a device on in the background, we do advise him to turn it off, of course. It is better let the drivers race with a good connection out on track rather than to be interfered with out on track. Of course, we do want to provide the best racing environment for everyone out on track. I think Zandamar has just picked up a penalty there as well. Steve, though, in the meantime, is in 7th position with Hitchison Green in 8th. Nissim has just lost time. I think he must have had a moment out of the Melbourne hairpin. But we're right on board then with VSR Rotary and Ash Richardson once again for the battle for the lead as we are through 20 minutes here in Tier 1 action for CRC. I hope you guys are enjoying the stream and are enjoying the action out on track tonight. VSR Rotary leading the way though by just about a 1/10 of a second. Nearly a car length even as Ash now trying to fight and gets the much better run out. VSR Rotary doesn't really seem to be confident on the power. He's just got to try and following the slipstream, I think, coming down towards the Fogarty S's through the left and the right. He's just got to try and prioritise that run out of there. That Lamborghini is a very good turning car. The Ferrari just seems quicker than him at this stage. VSR Rotary though 7/10 clear. Ash 7/10 clear of VSR Rotary at this stage. Hopefully you guys, as I say, are enjoying the action. I'll tune in to the comment section and see if there's been any. There haven't been coming up on the right hand side of my screen, which is a shame. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it though. There are no comments in the comment sections. That's probably why they haven't been coming up. But in the meantime, we'll focus still on this battle for the lead. It's the only closest battle we've got really out on track here tonight. Currently that is out on track and looking good, I've got to say, out on track. And of course, well done to Blizzard for winning Tier 2 out there tonight. Of course, starting at 7:30. I will tune in and I'll give you the result for that at the end of this stream as well, if you want. If you don't want to be spoilt, then make your case known now, and I won't spoil the result for you because you can go and watch it back later on. VSR Rotary though, the Some Professionals picked up a bit of a penalty in the background there, and that for him was a 1 second penalty. So 1 second penalty there for the Some Professional. But now the Lamborghini getting a much better exit. Is he going to look around the outside of the Melbourne hairpin? Surely not. He'll come onto the inside line. He'll try and outdo Ash Richardson at his own game here. Ash and VSR Rotary now pretty much side by side down towards Goddard. Favour the outside line because the outside line will be the line to go on. He'll switch onto the inside now through Goddard's, but Ash defending the position like an absolute lion out in front. We're side by side for the lead of the race in CRC Tier 1. It's getting exciting. VSR Rotary trying to go around the outside into Redgate corner. Not going to get the move done. Ash just purely parks it on the apex, and these two Brits now going at it. VSR Rotary trying to stick that car on the inside line. He will be on the outside now coming through the crane of curves. It's side by side through the crane of curves. Ash just on the inside line, going to pay off the move, and that was always going to be the case. He's got the move done as Ash, but he runs wide onto the grass. Here comes VSR Rotary around the outside of him, and he's got the move done, and he's ahead of him. VSR Rotary capitalising on Ash Richardson. Rare mistake, I've got to say, from Ash, but VSR Rotary on his debut leads the way as we've just gone through the halfway stage here in CRC. Beautiful timing to do it. VSR Rotary now out in front from Ash in second. 007 Professional in in third. And it's cleared Crusher Pro, who is in fourth. Racing Home is in fifth. There is Zandamar and the Mercedes in sixth. Mercedes actually going quite good. Racing Home and Zandamar fifth and sixth currently out on track, with Steve in the Audi in seventh. The tank that I'm calling it, H Racing Green in the Bentley in eighth, with Nissim in ninth, recovering well after a little mistake earlier on. Andy is in 10th, Sean in 11th, beginning for you in 12th. Emmanuel Beast has already been into the pits, as has John. John, I think, has been into the pits twice out on track. He's down in 14th position out on track. But 1.1 seconds separating the top two out on track. as VSR Rotary comes through turn 1 once again at Red Gate Corner. 21 minutes left of the 45 that we had, of course, starting off this race. And because we haven't really got much action out on track, let's take you on board the leader's perspective. VSR Rotary, I find it really intriguing and interesting to ride on board with the leader of a race, see what he is going through. You can see quite clearly out on the track, he's doing well, and he's got McKinder for you, I think that is, just ahead of him. So we come now uphill into Coppice Corner. This is the driver's eye from a camera view's perspective, from a spectator's perspective, essentially. And VSR Rotary has got all the answers at the minute to Ash, and that gap is beginning to pull out considerably. Through the Focus ES as we go, VSR Rotary just attacking through there nicely, just hitting left and right, little minimal movements there through the chicane. McKinder for you, of course, will have to get out of the way here, I think. He goes to the outside of the Melbourne hairpin and will let the leader through. So, yep, VSR Richardson, VSR Rotary, I should say, has cleared him. Goodness me, VSR Richardson. Dash Richardson, of course, in second, and now he has to clear McKinder for you. But we're right on board then with trackside cam, with just under 20 minutes to go, and you can see the desperation of Ash Richardson flicking the lights. You can see though he's actually gaining the time on the Lamborghini ahead of McKinder for you, who is also in that, who is also in the other Lamborghini, of course, out on track. But Ash will try and get the slipstream here down the hill towards through the corner curves and through into the old hairpin. He'll be trying to pick up as much speed as possible through there, because it is difficult for Ash now to catch up. It's 2 seconds the gap, 20 minutes to go. It's not out of the woods yet. I think VSR Rotary, if he wants to try and pull away and secure this win now, maybe about a 5-second gap. McKinder for you just getting out of the way, and Ash is literally waving in front of him. That was quite close to a little bit of contact there, but Ash clears McKinder for you, but means 007 Professional beginning to get a little bit closer in the Ferrari. So the Ferrari's now 2 and 3 out on track. And there is Crusher Pro running in behind in fourth. The Aston has got good straight line speed down the down the straight, but through the corners it just appears to me that it's losing the time. And 007 Professional, you can see McKinder for you getting flashed out the way almost by 007 Professional, and again McKinder for you, I think might just have to pull to the side here. And you can see once again the lights warning that the driver is coming. McKinder for you rightfully gets out of the way. I think he might get out of the way for Crusher Pro here as well. We'll see McKinder for you. Oh, there he is, just ahead actually. VSR Rotary leads though by 2.8 seconds. The gap is extended now to Ash in second. 007 Professional in third. There is Crusher Pro in fourth. Westerholm is in fifth. Zandamar in sixth. Having a bit of a quiet race in the Mercedes, but doing a good job and keeping his nose clean out on track. H Racing Green though beginning to get a little bit closer to Steve. 2.5 seconds the gap currently at this stage. Pretty much similar to the gap for the lead. The Bentley now leaning into the corner through Goddard's and onto the Wheatcroft straight once again. H Racing Green about 2.5 seconds off. And that gap staying very consistent. H Racing Green 4/10 quicker. He has got Nissim chasing him down as well. Don't worry about the driver in behind. I think that might be John Dog just in behind. It is John Dog out in behind, because Steve is obviously on the same lap as the leaders. And there is Nissim trying to catch H Racing Green. But H Racing Green, you can see 2.3 seconds the gap now, beginning to extend that. He's beginning to eat into that advantage. It's 1,000th up, minimal gains through the first sector, but every gain counts, I think, out on track. And H Racing Green doing a good job currently. We'll go back on board with the battle for the lead though. VSR Rotary leads the way. Debutant to the series here tonight. And the Lamborghini man doing a good job out on track. A 28.1 last time around, a 28.5 this time around for the Lamborghini man, and he currently leads the way from Ash Richardson in second position. 007 Professional in third, Crusher Pro in fourth, Racing Home, Zandamar with Stephen seventh, H Racing Green, Nissim and Andy filling out the top 10. Kinder for you, Sean, John and Emmanuel Beast right down at the back of the field. Good to see. All 14 drivers are currently going out on track with about 16 minutes to go here at Donington. Around the Grand Prix track, of course, here tonight. Reminder, if you are new to tuning in to Project Cars and you haven't seen this track before in your lifetime, Well, this is Donington Park. We're here in the UK, of course, tonight for round 3 of the championship. And what a round it has been so far, I've got to be honest. Always provides good racing around here at Donington, and there are 2 different variations to the track. Obviously, the leader now coming through the S's. If you go to the right-hand side through there, you do go onto the shorter version of the track, which is the national circuit. VSR Rotary, though, obviously we're on the Grand Prix layout here tonight. So just to spice up the differences between the 2, literally that chicane, the S's, literally the only difference in the 2 tracks out on track. And you can actually see on the track map on the right-hand side of your screen, the little greyed out section where VSR Rotary is going through and where the cones are, that is the joining on to the circuit. That is from the National to the Grand Prix circuit. And Ash has made a mistake, I think, at the Melbourne hairpin, because he has lost a lot of time to the leader ahead. VSR Rotary leads the way from Ash Richardson in 2nd position. Good to see a comment actually coming in for Ash. Nexus_AOR coming in, no worries, I'm watching. Go Ash. Go Ash indeed. 5.4 seconds he's off VSR Rotary, but doing a good job is our debutant out on track. But maybe a 3-way battle for second beginning to develop out on track. There's not really much closer action than what you'll see now. We'll go on there with Crusherville, coming through McLean's once again, towards Coppice, up the hill, and in wide there, the Aston Martin. But Ferrari against Aston, you know who I'd want to be in at this stage? I'd want to be in the Aston Martin, because that car carries a lot of straight line speed. You'll see, until that I will carry, you'll see him beginning to eat into our advantage, beginning to close him down the straight. Not long enough, though, to get a pass done. Crusherville will have to sit and wait through the corners once again. But through the corners, it is a corner turning track here at Donington, mainly through left and right, with only the split and the straight separating. As Crusherville tries to hide up the inside of the Melbourne hairpin, nearly had the car alongside, but just didn't get the exit of the corner as perfect as what he would have wanted. The Ferrari man currently out in 3rd, Crusherville in 4th. Ash, I think, nearly having a moment. I thought he was going into the pits there, to be honest. Ash has made a mistake coming out the final corner. Maybe the tyre's beginning to go, I wonder, for Ash, because that is a big factor around here. They do tend to go off quite towards the end of the race, to be honest. Ash is beginning to struggle, though, out on track. He was perfect up until this point, but now just niggly little errors out on track are beginning to let 007 Professional and Crusherville back into this. These guys have now got a real shot of getting a podium finish. And look at Crusherville, you can see him trying to look around the outside of McLean's, which would be very, very good if he can pull that off. He doesn't, though. 007 Professional still out in 3rd, the Norwegian in 4th at this stage. Crusherville, of course, the merge between CRC and TT_Project cars happening. If you are not aware of Crusherville, he was our last TT_Project cars champion before we did merge with CRC. And the Aston Martin right on the back of the Ferrari. You can see the 2 Ferraris just ahead. Ash in the gold coloured car, the red Tafosi coloured 007 Professional, who goes wide into the Melbourne hairpin. We'll see the run out on the corner for Crusherville again, not getting the traction down off the inside of the corner, running onto the dust and the marble slightly on the inside, just forcing the issue. And again, 007 Professional runs out wide, but he will get the traction off the corner and he will hold on to the position. Crusherville will now tuck back into the slipstream, but with the Aston Martin will come the straight line speed. There's a little bit of coming together, but 007 Professional will try and defend this up the inside through Redgate. Crusherville now switching to the inside. Now the crane of curves come for these 2 drivers. 12 minutes to go. VSR Rotary out in front. 007 Professional has got to be careful. He doesn't want to lean into Crusherville that much. The graphics, but the damage system on this game can be quite severe at times. Crusherville, though, ran the outside of Sarki's bridge, has got the move done. Crusherville is through on 007 Professional. I think he had to live up to the fact that he might have not covered off the position there. 007 Professional now down to 4th. Crusherville completing the move cleanly, and he's up to 3rd. So the Norwegian through, and he's up into the podium positions. But 007 Professional, knowing him, he's not going to give up without a fight. But down the straight, you can see that Aston Martin beginning to pull away. The Aston especially was really quick through, and he makes a mistake actually. Crusherville, and Ash is off ahead. through the Malc, through the S section, just took a bit too much speed, I think, through the corner. Crusher Bro could be going for 2 for 1 around the outside. 007 Professional getting involved in this. Ash just making niggly mistakes out on track, beginning to force the other two back into play. Now Crusher Bro is going to have to go, try and go around the outside here with Goddard's. Now down into the final 2 corners. Ash, it's going to be 3 wide off the straight. Oh, a little bit of contact. Ash just runs Crusher Bro out of room. Side by side though, Ash just waiting up, lets 007 Professional go, and Crusher Bro will be back through, I think, into third. Ash ran the outside though, they've got to be careful. They don't lean on each other and there's contact. There is contact between them both. Ash off into the gravel. We rejoined safely, racing at home, I think that was. Sorry, I wasn't racing at home. It looked like it might have been, who was that? Emmanuel Beast that nearly got caught in a little bit of contact there. But of course stewards will investigate that incident. We will get provided the POV footage and the stewards will of course have a look at that one. VSR Rotary though, what it does is split the race apart once again, and it's 7.7 seconds between VSR Rotary and 007 Professional. We are 30 minutes through with 10 minutes to go. 35 minutes through, sorry, I should say. If I could do basic GCSE maths, that would be fantastic. But VSR Rotary, as Emmanuel Beast just runs wide there in the background of shot, will let through Ash Richardson. But racing at home, beginning to get into this. And in fact, it's actually a private battle actually between McKinley for You and Emmanuel Beast. Emmanuel being lapped by McKinley for You. These two might get in the way here of 007 Professional, sorry, of Ash and of Racing at Home. Both of them, they've got to be careful. There's contact. Racing at Home down the inside of Ash. Racing at Home will take an avoid action, and he's waited up from good sportsmanship shown there by Racing at Home. Just that little bit of contact. Ash and Nissim has left the session. Nissim leaving the session, so he's the first DNF out of the track tonight, which is unfortunate because we were looking quite good. Might have been a connection failure maybe with Nissim. That's all I could assume though. 9 minutes to go. VSR Rotary 1 lap 25, and VSR Rotary leads from 007 Professional in second. What that battle did down towards the Melbourne hairpin is really split the field apart, and as I say, 007 Professional and Crusher Bro second and third at this stage. Ash in fourth. Racing at Home, I've got to say, good sportsmanship shown there by the Mercedes driver. The Brits coming together with a slight bit of contact, but Racing at Home having really good wits about him and just waiting up, and he looks the quicker driver at this stage. Ash's tyres beginning to go off the cliff, I think, out on track. We'll obviously try and catch on board with some reactions in Discord afterwards. There will be no interviews here tonight, and we tried that out last week. I am not going to be in a position to do the interviews after the race. However, I'm sure we will be able to do them next week. VSR Rotary leads, 007 Professional second. Oh, McKinley for You spins. How on earth is Racing at Home out to take a board in action? McKinley for You spinning round. There's nothing that Racing at Home really could have done. McKinley for You is beached into the gravel. You can see him in the background of shot. Racing at Home reactions like a cheetah cub right there. Racing at Home, he could have ended his own race with that, but how on earth he's recovered? He's obviously went into the gravel, picked up the grass and the gravel on his tyres, but good reaction timing there by Racing at Home. How on earth him and Ash managed to avoid that is beyond me. Battle for second though beginning to heat up. Crusher Bro and 007 Professional. 0.6 of a second separating these two out on track. 7 minutes and 15 seconds to go, and if you're just tuning in, where have you been for the last 37.5 minutes? VSR Rotary leads from 007 Professional in second, Crusher Bro in third, and now the Aston against the Ferrari. Once again, we have a repeat of Algarve pretty much last week between these two. 007 and Crusher Bro. You know the straight line speed of the Aston is going to come into play. Is he going to try and lunge it down the inside? He's going to have to go around the outside into the S's. If he wants to try and pull it off, he could force 007 into a bit of a mistake, and that's what he might have done there. Because he's there side by side. 007 just leaning on him, forced him across. A little bit of coming together, a little bit of aggressive racing between them both. 007 now wide of the corner. Crusher Bro gets the inside, turning in, and has got the move done cleanly, I may add. Crusher Bro gets the move done. He'll defend the inside line in a professional manner, and 007 Professional hasn't got anything to do about that. Crusher Bro up to P2. Obviously, any of the contact, if 007 Professional feels he's had a he feels hard done by Crusher Pro earlier on in the race for something that has happened and we haven't caught on stream. Of course, there might be reactions about it in the Discord afterwards. But in the meantime, Crusher Pro has got through for second. Knowing 007 though, he will not give this up without any sort of fight. It is about 0.4 of a second separating these two out on track. You can pretty much suggest that VSR Rotary has got the race win. 2 seconds out on track from Crusher Pro. We've got a 2-second penalty. 007 Professional with a 1 second. Racing Home has got a 6 second. Zandamar with 3. Hedge Racing Green with 2. Andy with 1. And Emmanuel Beast with 13 seconds worth of penalties. So that's just to give you a bit of a penalties update there. Out on track, VSR Rotary leads the way, but we're still on board with this battle for second and third between Crusher Pro and 007 Professional. In fact, we'll go to a developing battle further down the field because it is Racing Home against Zandamar. So the two Mercedes are about to go at it now through Coppice Corner once again. Having a look through some of the comments that have came through. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this stream, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you are new. Looks like the same problem with the Tier 2 Ferraris. The tyres are gone. Yeah, I've got to be honest, Ash's tyres have fallen off the cliff. Over the last 15 minutes or so, I would say, the tyres have gone off the cliff. These guys beginning to bring their tyres into play. The likes of the Mercedes beginning to bring themselves into play here for possible top 5. Racing Home and Zandamar, I would not truly rule out of this at all. They're 5th and 6th at this moment in time, but obviously there is going to be a lot happening still out on track. There's still 6/7 of a second separating the battle for second. Steve beginning to catch this as well as behind. The Audi man right in behind on the two Mercedes. Nexus AOR coming in and saying Ash's race has been completely ruined. Yeah, I've got to be honest. Of course, we'll have a look into any incidents that have happened out on track, and especially with his tyres, the tyre management. He was already going to be in that red zone anyways before any of the incidents happened. Of course, especially down into the Melbourne hairpin, we'll get that one investigated out on track. But in the meantime, VSR Rotary leads the way by a really good advantage of 11.6 seconds out on track. As I just have to recuperate myself a little bit out on track because my voice is going. I did do a commentary before this, and it was an epic race in Spain on Formula 1 in League of Europe. Go and watch that back if you want to. It's on the League of Europe YouTube channel. You'll enjoy it, that's for sure. But I'm sure you've been enjoying this one as well. With 3 minutes to go, I think we're going to get another 2 laps out of this race after this one. VSR Rotary out in front. You can see him way off in the distance there. He's just going up towards McLean's corner. 007 Professional is in second. Crusher Pro is in third. Crusher Pro is in second. 007 Professional in third. Ash is in fourth. And still, the two Mercedes begin to get closer. Zandamar coming with a little bit of pressure now. The Audi beginning to come into play. Steve maybe for top 6 finish. It's still VSR Rotary though who leads out in front. 2.5 minutes to go. I've got to be honest, this is the quickest Tier 1 race I think we've ever had go by. It feels like it's just literally flown over, this race. As Zandamar is slow out the corner, Steve is going to be up the inside through Starkey's Bridge, and he's got the move done. Steve is up to 6th position. Zandamar making a very rare mistake out on track, but that mistake could be costly because Steve has gone waltzing past him. He'll have the last waltz all right, and he's up into 6th position as Crusher Pro has picked up a penalty, and 007 Professional has dropped off the back of Crusher Pro. I wonder if 007 Professional has made a mistake out on track. I think he has. One to the penultimate lap though. VSR Rotary out in front. That was McKinder for you going off in the gravel in the background. Hopefully he can keep that going because he has got Emmanuel Beast catching him behind. Crusher Pro is in second. 007 Professional in third. Ash is in fourth. Again, I think he's now under pressure. There is Emmanuel Beast behind him directly, but Racing at Home is racing to get a top 4 finish. Emmanuel Beast will have to get out of the way down the straight. The two Mercedes will go side by side. He will drop off though. Racing at Home intrudes by a 1/10 of a second on his personal best. He's getting closer. Racing at Home wouldn't rule him out for top 4 here. Close to 2. guys, Ash and Racing at Home don't have any penalties out on track. Zandamar overtaken by Steve. Steve beginning to get into this as well. Maybe if there was an hour race, these guys would be wanting that hour race to try and pick up more of the pieces out on track. A minute to go. The Melbourne hairpin awaits VSR Rotary for the penultimate time. That Lamborghini has done a sterling job out on track. And honestly, if VSR Rotary is going to be like this every week, then we can have more debut performances like him, because this has been debut performance to remember here in CRC Tier 1. He comes through the final corner now to start what will be the final lap of the race out on track, and he sets a new fastest lap as well with 27.6. That's how quick he's going out on track. VSR Rotary then leads onto the final lap, and Crusher Pro in second, 007 Professional in third, Ash hanging on from Racing at Home in fourth. Steve has lost a bit of time there to Racing at Home. He's in sixth in a minute. Zandamar's in seventh, trying to get a little bit closer. H Racing Green in eighth. He's done a sterling job, I've got to say, in that Bentley. Andy is in ninth. Much improved performance from Andy. He will be picking up points for the first time this season. Sean is going to be in 10th. He'll be picking up points for the first time this season as well. John in 11th. McKinnon for you in 12th. And there's Emmanuel Beast just losing through Goddard and onto the weak crop straight there once again. But now through Coppice Corner for the final time. We'll go on board with our leader, VSR Rotary, who has really dominated this race throughout. Taking the lead at roughly the halfway stage. The Brit, on his debut, the Visceral Racing driver, is, touch wood, going to be coming around the final couple of corners in front. VSR Rotary now through the Melbourne hairpin for the final time. He locks up into the corner. I don't think he'll care that he locked up into that corner, because he's got a 15-second advantage over Crusher Pro, who is going to be taking second position and will be taking the championship lead as well with this as well, I think as well. VSR Rotary though through Goddards and onto the Wheatcroft straight for the final time. VSR Rotary wins here in CRC Tier 1. A fantastic debut win for the Visceral Racing driver. He takes it in the Lamborghini. Crusher Pro will be coming across the line in second, providing that he gets around Goddard's flying. He does. Crusher Pro through the final corner and he'll come across the line in second position. 007 Professional coming across the line in third. The Ferrari man, unlucky late on, but he's going to pick up a podium. Ash nowhere near at the end of the day. The tyres falling off the cliff for one of the Ferraris, the other one finishing ahead. Ash Richardson going to be coming around the final corner. He's held on gamely for fourth, and that's what all we can ask for. Ash across the line in fourth, Racing at Home across the line in fifth. Zandamar with a good result here in sixth. I think that might be his best result of the season if I'm not mistaken. Zandamar to come across the line in sixth. H Racing Green has jumped Steve late on. Oh, and Steve has run out of fuel. Steve has run out of fuel. There's been a crash with Emmanuel Beast. I'm not sure what happened there. Zandamar across the line in sixth. H Racing Green across the line in seventh. Steve has completely lagged out, I think, right on the last lap, has he? I'm not sure what has happened there. Andy is already across the line, I think, in ninth. Sean will be coming across the line in 10th. John Dog is going to be the final car, I think, to come across the line in 11th. McKinnon for you and Emmanuel Beast 12th and 13th. Not sure what happened there with Steve. Obviously, he's still got to come across the line, and you can see him out on track. We'll see Emmanuel Beast as well, and that is one of the weirdest things you'll ever see in Project Cars. I can't quite describe what I'm seeing there. Emmanuel Beast not going to be coming across the line in 13th. I think he will get counted as that position as well. Looks like there was damage on that car, so I think it might have been a bit of contact, I'm not sure. VSR Rotary then, with 4 seconds worth of penalties, he takes the win from Crusher Pro in second. 007 Professional in third, good result for him. Ash in fourth, Racing at Home in fifth, Zandamar in sixth, H Racing Green in seventh. Steve has been counted as a DNF, I'm not sure if that will change, but he's finished 8th anyways. Andy in 9th, Sean in 10th, John Dog in 11th, McKinnon for you in 12th, and Emmanuel Beast also picking up a DNF late on, finishing off in 13th position. That is the action over and done with here out on track in CRC Tier 1. I really hope you guys have enjoyed it. Of course, if you do want to follow the league on Twitter, it is at CompetitiveRC on Twitter, at CompetitiveRC. And of course, you can also follow me on Twitter if you want, at B52Head. I'm also going to be doing commentaries next week for TT_Project Car for TTL, I should say, TTL F2 with TTL F1, TTSL to come along align with as well. I'll return to Race Central. Thank you very much for tuning in. I have been James Head, your commentator here for Tier 1. Alan Cabby will be back with me next week to go through the action for round 4 of the championship. And that, of course, is going to be next week at the Le Mans 24 hours. And it is going to be dry next week for the Le Mans 24 hours. So, and it is going to be a nighttime race, I do believe, as well, which is fantastic. Can't wait for that one. But until then, I've been James Head. Thank you very much for watching. And until next time, next week here in CRC, goodbye.